the result is wicked. An example, you see a lady walking the street, naked, but glamorous. So you look at her. Now, the image is there. This is very important. Take this example as a very important example. The image is there. Immediately that image immediately transforms itself or transfers itself to the heart. Now the heart, if it's a pure heart that loves Allah Ta'ala, immediately is going to respond how? A'udhu billah. Stop, he will tell the eyes. Hold it right there. Allah does not like this. So your vision is going to be diverted. But if it's a wicked person, he will say, beautiful, continue looking. Look at the beautiful creation of Allah Ta'ala. So he'll continue with his evil because his heart is evil. And this is how it works. Your eyes are the windows to the world for the body. And as you're here, or have heard, that a picture tells 1,000 words. This saying is correct. Wallahi, this saying is genuine. How many pictures have not only destroyed people's lives, but also destroyed their way, their character, their behavior, their ethics, their morals, the way they eat, drink, sleep, dress, sit, stand, everything. A picture can destroy your life ultimately. Because in reality, a picture can tell you 1,000 words. For this, the gazing, the forbidden gaze, is like a chronic disease, a plague that infects, that destroys the believing servants of the Almighty Lord. And like any other disease, there are causes for it. And likewise, for every disease there is a cure. Causes that you must avoid, and a cure that you must implement in order that you do not fall in this chronic evil disease. But where do we find the physician here, the doctor? Do we go to Campbelltown or Camden Hospital? Or maybe it's in Liverpool or in Bankstown Hospital? No, it's in none of these. The doctor here is divine. It's in the uncreated word of the Almighty Lord. So insha'Allah ta'ala, we will look briefly at the causes, briefly, and at the cure, briefly. And we call the causes of the forbidden gaze as the arrows of Satan. And the cure is how to break these arrows. So the first arrow, the devilish arrow that we'll mention, are those who follow no other than their desire. And if you follow your desire, you follow the devil. And if you follow the devil, you have obeyed him. And if you have obeyed the devil, you have disobeyed the Almighty Lord, who is the creator of the devil. And if you have disobeyed the Almighty Lord, you are indeed eligible for punishment. Eligible for punishment. But many people are not concerned about halal, haram. They are concerned what their hawa, their desire wants. They're so indulged in evil and wicked that they have made their desire, their hawa, their Lord. As Allah Ta'ala says, أَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you not seen the person? This is Allah's statement here. Have you not seen the person who has taken as his Lord his own desire? Meaning, there is no halal, there was no haram in his life. Whatever his desire wants, he implements. Whatever he feels like, he does. Whether it's going to hurt, harm, please, displease, he does not care about anything. One thing he cares about is pleasing his desire. In reality, he is worshipping who? The Subhi? Who is he worshipping? This person who takes his desire as his Lord. He is worshipping the devil. How can someone worship a two-horned, ugly, filthy, abominated creature like Satan? Allah musta'an. Allah musta'an. alayhi. Isn't it filthy? He's filthy and he is filthy. They're both filthy, these people. A second arrow of Iblis is watching TV, movies, looking in the magazine or newspaper, or going on the net where women excessively expose their beauty, or existing in locations where there is large gathering of men and women mingling. And how true was the lyric of the Arab poet when he said, they throw him into the ocean with his hands tied up. Listen to this carefully. They throw him into the ocean with his hands tied up, and then they threaten him, do not get wet. How is he not going to get wet? The example means that you enter these places, you go to these places, the malls, the supercenters, you go on the net with the ladies and so forth, you go into an X-rated magazine or video, and then you say, oh, I don't want to get affected. That's illogical, irrational. Why enter it in the first place? Many men spend a lot of time on roads, in shops, or the shopping complex, or the mall, or the beaches, or on TV, or movies, or in the cinema, or on the net, one of the most evil creatures on earth, the net, which is the devil itself, that's why I call it creature. Doing what? Gazing at the forbidden gaze. Flirting, talking, looking, chatting, as though there is nothing wrong. As though there is nothing wrong. It's all easy. This is nothing but a poison arrow from Iblis. As our beloved Prophet ﷺ said, in a narration compiled by Sulaiman ibn al-Ash'ath Abu Dawood, on the authority of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that Muhammad ﷺ said, the look is one of the poison arrows of Iblis. Whoever lowers his gaze for the sake of Allah, Allah will put in his heart sweetness to the day of resurrection. How beautiful is this narration? But have we understood this narration? Before we look, have we reflected upon this beautiful, golden advice? Wallahi, whoever has reflected and pondered and thus acknowledged and implemented, you will see yourself so faithful that no one can ever, ever break you. Just take this advice from our greatest teacher sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When you see a lady on the street or anywhere, avoid that gaze, the forbidden gaze, and wallahi, if you do it for the sake of Allah, not for the sake of your wife. She may be looking, or the sake of your father or mother, they may be looking. But for the sake of the creator of your wife and the mother and father and the creator of you, and Allah will place that beauty in your heart. He will place that sweetness in your heart. Especially when the companions asked Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, what do we do when we're on the roads? You know, there are people there. Ladies walk, especially in our day. If they were worried then, imagine today. They were worried then about gazing, the forbidden gaze. And they were dressed up those days. And they still asked, and they were scared. Ya Rasulullah, what are the rights of the road? They asked him. What are the rights of the road? They asked him. And he replied most eloquently, lower your gaze. Do not look. But how many of us have understood this? And in Muslim Ibn Hijjaz's compilation, Ibn Jarir radiallahu ta'ala anhu asked Muhammad sallam, Ya Rasulullah, what happens if I am walking and my gaze accidentally, look at this, accidentally, not deliberately, falls on a forbidden look? What did he say? Oh, it's not a problem, just relax. He said, turn your eyes away. It looks at a forbidden place, or forbidden person, or book, or paper, or screen, or scene, or image, or whatever other mallut. Turn your face away. Do not continue looking. Do not continue looking. It is haram for you to continue once you know that it is haram to look at. Especially in this sizzling hot weather that we are currently experiencing. And one of the most grievous sins of summer is what? The sin of undressing. We all know that people in these days are prone to cut down on pieces of clothes they wear. Pieces. I'm not saying full garments, pieces. In other words, they're hardly wearing anything. They might as well go back to their myth of Adam and Eve with the leaf. There's no difference today. And seducing people's eyes. But this is the most grievous sin. The sin of undressing in these hot summer days. It is hard, but not for a believer. And they claim by dressing like that, we are only seeking what? A cold breeze on a hot summer day. We can't dress with clothes that are going to make us hot, they say. We have to relax. We have to cool down. We want natural air conditioning. We want the breeze to hit us and cool us from the heat that we are in. But Allah Ta'ala says what? Informing us to inform these people. قُلْ نَارُ جَهَنَّمَ أَشَدُّ حَرًّا لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ اللهم استعان لَوْ كَانُوا يَفْقَهُونَ Allahumma musta'an. Saying that the hellfire, the fire of hell, is much fiercer in heat if they only understood. Another arrow of Satan is the ignorance of the consequences of the reckless look and how easily it can affect you and indulge you into zina and indulge you in the evil act of masturbation. And as we heard earlier on, the catastrophic consequences of zina itself, how it shatters and destroys home, destroys behavior and character, ethics and moral, spreads envy and jealousy, hatred and enmity among people, how it destroys the society as a whole, how it brings shame, embarrassment to the family and their relatives, and how it spreads the worst of diseases. These are all catastrophic, evil consequences. But when a person is applying this evil, he does not think of it. Does not think of it. Only when it is too late. And when it is too late, he says, what have I done to myself? If he's a believer. But if he's not a believer, he still doesn't care. He can't wait for the second chance. But if he's a believer, he says, astaghfirullah. He knows what he's done was wrong. So think before you do it. Arrow number 4 is feeling an elusive delight when stealing a glance of the forbidden. That is very evil. That you feel comfortable, satisfied when you see that which you shouldn't see. Like you're looking at the person and you're feeling comfortable. You're enjoying it. You're enjoying looking at nudity. Nakedness. That is evil. And wallahi, this is no other than the effect of heedlessness and the lack of reverence to Allah Ta'ala in a person's heart. For indeed, if this person had real glorification, real love for Allah Ta'ala, he would never ever feel in this way. Instead, a person, if he commits haram, like the forbidden gaze, he will feel bad. He will feel resentful, remorse. He will be disappointed. He will be angry. He will do anything immediately to rectify that problem, that sin, by committing a good deed so we can erase the evil deed. This is a believer. This is a believer. Arrow number 5. Turning away from marriage for both men and women for so many diverse, trivial, futile reasons. And what happens after that? What happens after that? If you're able to get married, physically and financially, and you've got that interest, but you turn away, what happens? That explodes indefinitely the fire of desire and instinct. As soon as you look at that forbidden gaze, you are going to be affected. Because you want that forbidden gaze, and you want more than that forbidden gaze, but you do not want to get married. Why? I haven't finished my university, or my degree, or my trade, or my father disallows me to get married until I do this and that. A'udhu billah, a'udhu billah, a'udhu billah. Fear the Almighty Lord. There is no excuse on a day where nothing will avail you except your actions. No money, no person, no nothing. The only thing that will help you on that mighty day of retribution is that which your hands come forth with. Arrow number 6 is relying on Allah's mercy and forgiveness. And this is commonly known among the majority of Muslims. They commit the evil, Allahu Ghafurur Rahim. They commit the evil, Allahu Ghafurur Rahim, they say. Allah is all forgiving. Allah is most merciful, most gracious. He will allow us to do this, but He will forgive us for it. This is their argument. He has allowed us, and thus He will forgive us. He is the all-merciful. He is the all-forgiving. He accepts repentance. But they never say, وَهُوَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ, and He is severe in punishment. Arrow number 7. Repetitive or constant contact with women in various parts of life, especially at work. Especially at work. Naturally, when you constantly meet women at work, it's going to suppress sensitivity. Is it not? If you say it's not, you must be abnormal. Because every single person will agree that when you are in constant contact with ladies, especially of marital status or beauty or exposed beauty, you are going to get affected. So constant mixing or linking or whatever you want to call it will affect your heart and destroy your heart. And we all know the story of Secretary Sandy. We all know her story. Especially Dr. Ahmed knows her. And that we do not want to fall into, because it's extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. These are 7 arrows among many that we experience. As for the cure, I'll allow you to choose if you want to continue for the cure that must be implemented, or we want to, inshallah, postpone the cure to next week. And the cure will take about 15 to 20 minutes. Next week, inshallah, because this series of the forbidden gaze will go for approximately 4 lessons. And among the lessons of this series is, inshallah ta'ala, the intermingling with the other sex and what is allowed. Likewise, will lead up to polygyny. That will be the last lesson of the series. And next week, inshallah, we will continue with the cure for the forbidden gaze. We ask the Almighty Lord to purify our hearts from hypocrisy, our chests from rancor, our eyes from betrayal, our tongues from lying. We ask the Almighty to shield our eyes from the hellfire, to guard our vision, and to enlighten our hearts with the light of Iman, our eyes with the light of the Quran, and our insight with the light of guidance. Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen.